Hey guys, Ash here, also known as the Eagerly Fan. I'm here today with another video, and it is from the When She Heal things the When She Heal rants that I have been planning. I was recently just thinking about this in my teen dramas. I was recently just thinking like, I'm going to try to do, once I get done with my When She Heal rants, I don't think I have anything else to do after I talk about the Lucas and Peyton thing. If anything else does come to me, I'll try to think about it, cause the One Tree Hill. Oh, actually, you know what? There is nothing I want to talk about. The Dan and Karen thing from season 4. How the writers really tried to force that whole thing down our throats in season 4. I wasn't fucking with it, so we're gonna talk about it. I was not a big fan of it. So yeah, I feel like after the Karen and Dan rant, I'm gonna get straight to my Vampire Diaries rant. Oh my gosh, there's so much I need to talk about with the Vampire Diaries. But basically, is what I'm doing. I'm going to talk about each teen drama show that I have seen and just get off some rants that I have about them. So I think I'll just do something like that. Something different. It's something that I can stay consistent with. And if I happen to do something different, it will just be a random video. It won't even be a community tab. But stuff like the teen drama rants, they will be community tabs. But today I have the 7 reasons why I think season 2 for One Tree Hill is just the weakest high school season for me. And me personally, I'm not telling anyone to dislike this season. These reasons to me just feel like, I don't know. It just, when you look back at it, you just kind of have a different perspective on season 2, because for the longest time, I used to be so mad at other people thought it was such a bad season, and I'm just thinking like, I don't know what they talk about. Season 2 was fantastic, and it's good. It's just, there's a lot of things I would have done differently, if that makes sense. So yeah, I do prefer it over other seasons. I prefer it over seasons 8 and 9, most definitely, but it still is, it just got a few things that need to be changed. So let's get into some reasons why I thought it was weak. Okay, so coming in reason number 7, no basketball. Me personally, I didn't have a problem with this originally, but you can tell rewatching the show if you're older that they were trying really hard to come up with storylines outside of basketball. And you can tell they were struggling a little bit, and I think that's why they decided to introduce Felix and Anna to stir things up, which we will get into that. You can tell they were trying to do something different, like introduce new characters, introduce this new storyline, and yada yada yada. And to me, I feel like if the storylines were consistent, maybe they could have been better. Some of the storylines were good, not all of them were bad, but it was just like they dropped a lot of storylines, which we will get into. With me, I will say that no basketball really did take the season down a down slope. But I had nothing against them taking basketball out of the season to give us something new. But when you have to rely on two new characters who are just not that interesting, it just gets really annoying at the point. So to me, I feel like taking out basketball was a bit negative instead of a bit positive, but I'm not mad at it, if it makes sense. It wasn't the worst decision, but it could have been better. So, reason number 6, too slow. This season was too slow. It's like it was moving at a snail's pace when you watch some of the episodes. It's like, I don't know, it's just too slow for me. Me personally, I don't have a problem with slow paced things, but the problem I have with slow paced stuff is when you're watching an episode and it's like nothing is like really happening. It just feels like filler, if I can say. It feels like nothing is pushing any of the storylines forward. We're just wasting time. And to me, I don't like episodes like that. We're wasting time. That's just being consistent here. In season 2, there was a lot of that. It would be like one episode will be focused on this storyline, and then the next episode is complete filler. And to me, I'm not down with that. I feel like that is just not a good way to handle consistency with seasons. And it was a lot of that in season 2. A lot of that in season 2. Really a lot. Me personally, I feel like things that really get better. It's like the second half I would say like around episode 9 and moving on is when the season got a little bit better, but it was still filler in between those episodes too. Like it was still a little slow, but I would say that the drama was definitely in that second half. It was definitely in the second half. I ain't gonna hold y'all. That first half was too fucking slow for me. I ain't gonna lie. We're getting a whole episode about a meteor shower. Like, come on, really? Like, even as a One Tree Hill fan, even I think that's ridiculous. Like, why are we getting a whole episode focusing on space? Who cares? We get that whole episode about Dare Night. I didn't care for that. I feel like that's just taking away the drama. I'm not here for the comedy. If you want to go to comedy, watch the sitcom. I'm here for the drama. I'm here for the tension. And you can really tell they were struggling really hard on finding that drama for a while. Really, they were struggling really hard. So that just made the episodes really slow for me. So yeah, coming number 5, Anna and Felix. They did not need to be in the season. They were really boring characters, especially both of them. I had nothing really against Anna. You know, I thought she had a great friendship with Lucas and Peyton. I thought they were really good friends to her. I feel like they really welcomed her into open arms. I just feel like her gay storyline kind of ran its course. It ran its course, and it felt like they didn't even know what to do with it. Like, really, like, they just like they didn't even know what to do with it. And that's really my feelings on Anna. I thought she was really boring. Her only character trait was being confused by her sexuality. I really wanted her to have more layers to her, but I really did like her friendship with Lucas and Peyton. Now, Felix, couldn't stand him. He was very arrogant, very cocky. He was a bully. Brooke really lowered herself again for him. She lowered herself for him. It was like she really, I feel like, why was him and Brooke a thing? Like, that, did that really need to be a thing? And I kind of already made a video about this, about couples I couldn't stand. Brooke and Felix were on that list. I feel like if you were going to do something like that, you should have put Lucas in the middle of it to get a little triangle. Because still to this day, Lucas just randomly having feelings for Brooke. It's, and him trying to confess feelings to her. Sorry, loud as motorcycle. For him to try to confess feelings to her episode 10, it's like y'all just started talking. Him and Brooke were not even talking to each other after episode 2. They started talking. He drove her home in episode 9, and then she said we should try to be friends. And he said, I like that. So what feelings is he confessing in episode 10? I just thought that was ridiculous to me. You know, I'm not the biggest Brookus fan. I'm not really a fan of Lucas and Brooke. Me personally, I feel like if it was up to me, I feel like they should have left it at season 1. But it wouldn't be a love triangle if they left it at season 1, now would it? It wouldn't be a love triangle, would it? The reason why I'm saying it should be left at season 1 is because I'm sorry, I was always a Leighton shipper. A Leighton shipper to the day I die. I was just always a bigger fan of him and Peyton. And I just feel like having Brooke be in a mix, we just didn't need it. Especially, he got so much for Peyton. It's like, we really don't need him and Brooke to make, we need that. But it wouldn't be a love triangle now, would it? Which, I love the love triangle. I really do. But I just felt like they rushed that whole him going back to Brooke. That was really rushed in season 2. That was really rushed. Like, the whole time it just kind of felt rushed to me. Even though him and Brooke, they do. I say it once again. I think Chad and Sophie did have really great chemistry. There's no denying that. They did have really great chemistry. But them having fun with each other, it just felt very rushed. It felt very rushed to me. The whole thing in season 2 felt rushed. I think that's why I kind of appreciate the season 3 storyline a little bit more, even though I was over that. But I can appreciate the get back, them going back to each other, because in season 2, it just kind of felt rushed. Him trying to confess feelings to her in episode 10, and then they're hanging out again, which I have no problem with, but then Brooke is falling for him again. It's like, where did this come from? It's like, especially when we're not really seeing them hang out that much. Like, they're barely having they have things, but it's not really a lot of scenes of them hanging out. Brooke is trying to become president. She's trying to get a job. She had her own storyline with her family losing their money, and she had to sell things so they can make profit, so they can make the rent. It was like her and Lucas really were hanging out. So the fact that they're growing these twins for each other, it just seemed like it came out of nowhere for me. It came out of nowhere, but they did have great chemistry. I did enjoy them. I enjoyed them trying to build a friendship, if I can say that, just to get straight to the point. I think I really enjoyed them trying to build a friendship. But the romance of them getting back together in season 2 felt very rushed. And I think they did it better in season 3. Even though I was over that, I will admit that, I don't care. I did enjoy the drama of them getting back together. It was a lot of drama, which I love. I stand for in tea. So yeah, I just felt like, sorry, that was a side rant, but that is just one of the many more frustrating reasons about season 2, is that it was just a lot of flames to me, and that's one of the biggest reasons the Lucas and Brooke get back. That just kind of felt like a throw out the wall situation. But back to Felix, I just didn't like his character. I really felt like he was just really unnecessary. Like, I think he was more unnecessary than Anna. I would have loved if Anna was probably her own character, not related to Felix. But like I said, I just feel like her gay storyline just ran its course. Like, it just like it was just never an ending in sight with her storyline, and I was kind of over it. Because I feel like she had no more layers to her character besides being gay. And it's like, I would like to see more from her character. Felix, he was just an asshole the whole season. And then having Brooke lower herself for him, it's like, this girl already got enough insecurities. You're going to have her date somebody that she had a friends benefits thing with. That too, that's lowering herself as well. Like, you really going to have her, first you have her have sex with this guy, give him the cooch whenever he wants the cooch. And then you have her date the guy. I wasn't fucking with that. I definitely love that Brooke ended things with him, because first of all, that relationship got no storyline. They got no screen time, and her and Felix had no chemistry. It was obviously the writers were trying to get her to Lucas, and I just feel like they could have done that if they would have made it a love triangle instead of making the Lucas and Brooke get back so rushed in season 2. That was just unnecessary, Brooke getting with him. I just feel like I feel like Felix and Anna were just very unnecessary characters in season 2. Just very unnecessary. Very, very unnecessary. Unnecessary. So I have to say, they were just very unnecessary to me. Coming in before, some storylines were dropped, and it was like that a lot. A lot of storylines were dropped. There were a lot of boring storylines, which that comes the boring storyline. I probably want to talk on reason number 2, because I do have another thing on here about storylines. But let's talk about some of the storylines that were dropped to me. Okay, some of the storylines that I feel like that were dropped. Peyton's drug storyline. Why was that dropped? I really love the whole Peyton drug storyline, and I just feel like, why did they drop it out of nowhere? It didn't make sense to me. Like, I feel like that made no sense to me. And she said that she did it one time, but yet she had cocaine in her purse. I have a hard time believing that Peyton only sniffed up a line one time, but it kind of feel like they weren't doing much with that. I just didn't get it. I feel like they completely dropped that. It was like they just wrote it to write it, and I was like, I would have loved to see more of that, because you can tell Peyton, she really was going through it a lot in season 2. Missing Jake, Brooke wasn't really, I'm gonna hold, Brooke was not really there for her in season 2. She kind of was, but then she kind of wasn't a little bit. Like, I feel like Brooke was more concerned on getting dick from Felix than being there for Peyton at the time. Don't come in my comments and trying to bum roast me, because half of it is true. When Peyton was going through some of her mental breakdowns, Brooke was really not there for her half the time. Like, that's keep it G. That's keep it T. Brooke really was not there for her half the time. Yeah, like, Peyton was really going through it before Jake came back, and Sorry, I yawned. Damn. Um. Yeah, that's just it. That's one of the storylines they dropped. The whole drug thing with Peyton. They dropped that. What else did they drop? Mouth throwing the brick at Brooke's window. They kind of just like what I'm looking for. They fixed that whole situation in one episode, which I feel like was just crazy to me because if Lucas would have had thrown that glass at Brooke's car window, y'all would have had brought out y'all pitchforks and your torches and making sure Lucas was constantly reminded of the shit that he did. Like, how the fuck can Mouth just get away with that? Like, that to me was just outrageous. The fact that he got away with throwing a brick at Brooke's window, and she just forgave him for it because he wanted to pick her for class president. That was absurd. I didn't fuck with that. What else? I'm trying to think. Oh, when y'all remember when Deb told Karen that she slept with Keith? They did nothing with that. They did nothing with that. Um, After she told Karen said, I think you should leave. And then Deb tried to apologize again when she met Karen outside the school, and she said that she don't want to hear no excuses. She said that you chose to lie to me, and she said that was your choice. And I kind of feel like after that, they did nothing with it. I don't understand what they were doing. Like, why? Oh my god. Why have her reveal that if Karen is with this whole new guy, Andy? That's what the problem I had. It wasn't like, and Karen and Keith barely had any interactions in season 2. So, like, what was the point of Deb saying anything if Karen wasn't even going to, she's not even feeling Keith right now. Like, she's not even feeling him. That makes sense to me. I feel like, honestly, if I'm going to keep it real, I did like the Jules storyline, but I feel like we should begin back to Karen and Keith. We don't need these unnecessary characters being in the middle of the drama that's really, really important. And I think that's just been my problem really with season 2, is that it seems there seems to be like a character in the middle of something that's really more important, and it's like, they're like a plot device. That's what I'm trying to get. Like, they're a plot device in this storyline, but there's no reason for it. Andy was a plot device. What was that with him and Karen? That whole storyline. Who cares? What was that? I don't care about that. Like, it was just, the storylines were just really everywhere. Like, I'm trying to think what else storylines were dropped. They dropped the Deb telling Karen about about her and Keith sleeping together. That really had no effect. They dropped the whole stuff with Mouth dropped throwing a brick. They dropped the stuff with Peyton doing drugs. What else did they drop? I think that was really much. To me, I think that was pretty much it. I don't think I'm forgetting anything else because there were some storylines that I did like. Even though they did drop the Peyton drug storyline, I did enjoy it for a while. I did enjoy Brooke going broke and her having to find a job. I did enjoy Lucas HCM storyline with his heart. I did not like the shit about him moving in with Dan. That was ridiculous to me. But I feel like the reason why he did move in with Dan was because Dan was going to tell Karen about the heart condition, which really, if you look at his health, I feel like he shouldn't be ripped apart for keeping it a secret for wanting to save his mom for any more stress. But I understand that is your mother and she should know. But at the end of the day, it is his health. Like, do you think if someone finds out they have cancer, do you think they want to reveal that news right away? No, that is something you gotta digest. Finding out that you have a heart condition and knowing that you can do basketball, which you've been trying to do your whole life, how you just go out and tell people, yeah, I have HCM. So yeah, my dreams are done. I don't have no way to get into college and making something of myself, helping my mom out, nothing. Like, so I feel like a lot of people just don't really like to see things Lucas's side sometimes. They're just ready to bash and berate and get their fireworks and then motherfucking torches and just like, shut the fuck up and just look from his side for once. Damn. Anyway, this is not about Lucas, but he's my baby. I love Lucas, so we're not going to do that with him. I didn't like the shit with him moving in with Dan. I thought that shit was foul. I didn't like that he did that to Karen. And they really made Karen a bitch really in season 2. Like, she was very bitchy sometimes. Oh my god. So yeah, some storylines were just dropped. It kind of just, like I said, it kind of just felt like one episode it would be this, and then the next episode it would be something else, and like, I don't know, it was just weird with season 2. Um, Coming number 3, filler episodes. There were a lot of filler episodes in this season. Really a lot of filler episodes. Like, you can just feel the snow pasted stuff in season 2. Like, a lot of episodes just feel like it was just a never ending fillering happening. It was filler there, filler here, filler there, filler there, blah, 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 blah. It was just a lot of fillers sometimes, and it just kind of made it very dreadfully to get through. Like, literally when I watch season 2, I have to go to a specific episode because I know that these are the episodes with the drama in it. And I've never had to do that when I went to a Hill episode unless I'm going to one of my favorite episodes. But when I'm doing my rewatch, I always do this with season 2. I'm like, no, this episode got nothing in it. No, no. And I remember this stuff on top of my head. So that's, to me, that's not good. When you reach a point in a show where you have to skip to the most important episodes, I feel like that's when you know when things are getting kind of dragged out. So yeah, there's a lot of filler episodes in season 2. Coming number 2, the storylines were kinda everywhere. And they were, like I just said, one episode it would be this, and then one episode it would be that. There wasn't really a lot of good storylines. There were some, but not a lot. Like I just said, I'll go over the good storylines one more time. Haley going to tour was a great storyline. Nathan's mental breakdown because of it, great. I did like the stuff with Jake and Nikki. It was great. I did like Lucas' HCM storyline. Amazing. I did like Brooke focusing on herself more and building up her self respect, her self esteem. I love that. What else? I did enjoy the Peyton drug storyline before they just randomly dropped it. I loved it. I loved the Dan storyline with him getting back at Keith. I loved it. But again, for 23 episodes, there were 23 episodes in this season. For 23 episodes, you can really tell that they were struggling half the time to find things to do. You can tell. Maybe it was because season 2 was too long. Now I'm starting to think about it. Maybe season 2 was way too long, and they had to drop certain things and create new things. Drop certain things and create new things. Oh, another storyline I didn't like. That whole Nathan losing his virginity to Haley's sister. That was very weird and just like, huh? I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like how Taylor kind of held that over Nathan's head. It was kind of creepy, really, you think about it, because she was 18 and Nathan was 14. But I know people say it don't matter. He's a dude. He's getting it. He's getting some coochie. It don't matter. To me, age does matter. Age gap does matter. It was weird to me that they wrote that storyline, and it was weird to me that Taylor kind of held it over his head about what they did. It was weird to me. The whole thing was weird. It was creepy, really, and I wasn't a fan of it. So yeah, you get my point. A lot of storylines were everywhere, but there was some good ones in there at least. And the last reason and the biggest reason for me why I thought season 2 was very weak: no lengthened scenes. Barely any lengthened scenes. I was not a fan of this. I couldn't believe watching season 2 and knowing there was no Lucas and Peyton scenes. Because to me personally, I feel like their scenes are One Tree Hill. Like, they are One Tree Hill. Lucas and Peyton specifically. No offense to nobody else, but come on. Like, the fact they had like no real scenes in this season, I just couldn't shake my head around it. I was really pissed about that they barely had any scenes. Like, I'll never forget the episode where Lucas came to check on her, and she said she got really mad at him, and she said, "Where have you been?" She said, "You haven't been there for me this whole time." And she said, "Now you want to talk?" And he said, "Well, I'm here to listen. What's going on?" And so she told him to get out. I'm thinking, like, why would you write a scene like this when they haven't been interacting? That makes no sense. It's like they're trying to paint out Lucas being his bad friend, but it's like y'all done no scenes with them at all. There's not a lot of scenes I can remember. I remember that scene when she got mad at him. The scene when he came back. I'm trying to think. When she hugged him because he called Jake, and she said, "You're a good friend, Luke." The scene when they hugged on the beach towards the end of season 2. I'm trying to think. There's another scene in there somewhere. Oh, when they threw the whole raising money for Nathan, when she was sitting by herself and she was crying and he told her that everything will be okay, and they hugged and Brooke was looking at them. Like, those are the only scenes I can really remember off the top of my head. But that's not a lot of Lathan scenes. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, I understand y'all was trying to get back to him and Brooke to get that love triangle going. But how can you have no Lathan scenes? Like, what? How do you do a season with barely any Lucas and Peyton scenes? Like, that to me was just like the biggest reason why I didn't really like season 2. It's like, where are the Lucas and Peyton scenes at? Like, there's barely any in here. And the ones that we did see, they were good. They were good scenes, but it's like it wasn't enough. Honest, it wasn't enough. Especially when you have to write a scene with her saying he's a bad friend, but it's like neither one of them been hanging out this whole season. So what the fuck are they talking about? Oh no, the other scene too when he said, "You're right, I haven't been a good friend." I'm thinking like, are you fucking kidding me? Peyton wasn't there for him half the time. Where was she at when he was going through his HCM shit? Like, come on now. Don't try to say Lucas is no bad friend. The fuck out of here with all that. And she said that she is very sorry for saying that. She said she was just really going through a lot and she shouldn't have taken it out on him. Period. Like, I love Peyton, but like, I didn't fuck with that. I didn't fuck with, why is Lucas apologizing? Him and Peyton barely hung out for him to even be there for her anyway. Like, the writers purposely gave him and Peyton like no scenes really. So I wasn't a fan of that. And now she's gonna fight on reason. Like, no Lathan scenes. Like, I can't believe there was no Peyton Lucas scenes in season 2. Like, that's what we're doing now? That's the fuck we're doing? And that's why I really love season 3, was because they gave them more scenes together, and it was like, it was just good like that. You can tell that their scenes like really make, to me, their scenes really, really make One Tree Hill to me. Like, they have the best scenes on One Tree Hill to me. Like, when they're there, like, their friendship, their relationship, like, whatever. That to me is just One Tree Hill. So I really love that they gave them more scenes in season 3, because it's like, how in the living fuck do you not give them any in season 2? So that's it. I'm gonna just leave it there. I'm not gonna keep saying it over and over and over again. But those are my reasons why season 2 was just really weak. I'm sorry you guys think I was talking way too slow or anything like that. I'm kind of half tired, but I'm trying not to take a nap because I work tomorrow and I don't want to be up all night. So I'm trying my best to stay awake as I can. So I'm sorry for yawning. It wasn't because I was bored. I was just really tired. So I'm sorry for that. But anyway, thank you for listening, and look out for my last 2 One Tree Hill videos. And thank you guys for watching.